rain may have affected her.
If she goes out, you'll handle it, so.
We're live now.
Okay. It's 5:30. The meeting is now called to order. We want to thank everybody for joining us, and it seems that all the board members are present and accounted for. On your agenda, the second item, the staff reports, you can read those at your leisure. Let's go down to 3, consent agenda. Look those over, and I'll entertain a motion to approve when you reach that point.
A motion by Ricky to approve.
Ricky makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Wynn will second.
Wynn seconds. Roll call. Wynn?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
I join those two with a yes vote. Going on down to action items, Mr. Rowe, if you'll take 4A and B, and then we'll respond.
Yeah, this is the just the first reading. No action will be needed for the annual KSBA recommended policy update. Ms. Benson has uploaded you, I think, sort of what we call the cheat sheet, which is a breakdown of those. So make sure between now and our next meeting that you read any of those, and if you have any concerns with any of those, please bring them back before we have our second reading.
All right, no action on that one. Now, the employee handbook.
Yeah, we also use KSBA to do our employee handbook, and they update that. Any new law or existing law that has changed due to the last legislative session, they do updates to our handbook. So what is presented is the handbook. So it's very similar to what we had in the past with the new updated laws and or procedures as recommended by KSBA.
And no major changes.
No, nothing major beyond what was required.
We need an approval on that. Do we have a motion to approve the handbook?
So moved.
Who was that?
Alan.
Alan, okay. Second?
Wynn will second.
Wynn seconds. Roll call. Wynn?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. All right, Ms. Cooper, I think you have the next one, changes in the middle school stipend schedule.
Yes, Ms. Story has requested to redistribute the extra service stipends that the middle school receives. It's not any more money, it's just redistributed. Currently, they don't have an academic assistant coach, and so they want to use that money to for instructional focuses to compensate content leads for their extra duties and responsibilities. You have a breakdown of the changes in your packet that she is requesting to make. You'll see that the band director didn't have a stipend. We didn't have a middle school band program until recently. And so she wants to stipend them just like the chorus. So that would reduce the chorus to $610 and give the band $610. She also is requesting a student technology leadership program and a stipend of $300 for that. The drama stipend, she is dropping from $1,000 to $200. And then you'll see the team leads, content leads, due to leading PLCs, the extra responsibilities, wants to increase their stipend to $700 each.
Board members, any questions?
Yes. Do we need to like abolish or create some of these positions?
They're not positions, they're stipends, extra duty stipends.
These coaches? Are they not positions?
They're just extra duty stipends.
And the total amount of, I'm sorry.
We don't post them, they're just extra duty stipends, the teachers.
But it's just a redistribution of the money. Nothing's been.
Nothing's changed now.
Okay. All right.
Now sometimes the coaches we do post if there are no certified folks in-house that want the extra duty. So if we have to go outside, we do post the coaches positions. But as far as the academic team and things like that, team leads, no.
As of tonight, we're not dealing with people, we're dealing with stipends for our staff.
It's just a redistribution is all it is.
Yeah, on the 7th grade basketball coach,
Mhm.
I know that's a reduction. Is there what about
She's,
the timeline of notifications there?
if the board approves it, we can change the salary. It's a stipend. They haven't got their contracts yet.
Extra duty stuff. Any other questions?
Motion by Ricky to change the LCMS stipends, please.
Thank you, Ricky. Do we have a second?
Win will second.
Win, thank you. The roll call, Win,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes,
Alan,
Yes.
and I vote yes too. Ms. Cooper, I think you have the salary schedule for the 2021 school year.
Yes, and you guys have a copy of that as well. The only changes are in red. You'll see on page 2 that we don't have a public relations coordinator. We posted it that way. We didn't get any qualified applicants. So therefore, we don't have a public relations coordinator. So I've got that marked through. You'll see on the 21st century coordinator, I believe it used to be 200 days. The new grants require coordinators to have 220 days. Therefore, it's paid out of a grant, so it doesn't cost us any more money. So those are the only 2 changes on that page. On page 3, what you're going to see are the reflections of the middle school changes, requested changes that were just approved. And then at the bottom, you will also see we just defined the ag teacher, the business teacher, the tech ed teacher, and the family consumer science teacher to high school. Those folks are required to attend the CTE conference, so they get extended days. Since we have those folks in middle school, they aren't required to attend the CTE conference, so we just defined those. And then Mr. Smith came on board after the salary schedule, so we added his position with the extra days at the bottom.
Any questions?
Yeah, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did I understand you to say the public relations coordinator we didn't have? I thought that was Brad's title, or am I misinterpreting something?
He's a communications coordinator. We posted it as a classified public relations coordinator, and we didn't get any qualified applicants for it. We had it posted forever.
Well, to my knowledge, when we hired that position of Brad's, wasn't it? I thought. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with what you're saying, but I was thinking it's called public relations coordinator, and then I know they said they didn't have any applications, and they upped the salary
Right.
for the position, but I didn't know that the title changed to the job, and he was hired the next day after we didn't have no applicants.
We didn't have any applicants for a very long time. We had that job posted a very long time, and we did change the salary so he's a classified, but he's paid on a certified scale. So he doesn't fall on page 2 is what that boils down to, which is the same for our finance officer. They're classified positions, but they're paid on a certified scale. They pay into KTRS retirement.
Any other question? Thank you, Ms. Cooper. I'll entertain a motion to approve the salary schedule as explained by Ms. Cooper.
Win Smith makes the motion.
Win, thank you. Do we have a second?
Second, Ricky.
Ricky makes the second. Roll call. Win,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
Bruce,
yes.
Alan,
Yes.
yes for me too. Thank you. Mr. Rowe, you want to talk about the contract with Alternative Service Concepts?
Yes, a few years ago, we were still self-insured because of a couple of the incidents that happened in the district. And as part of them, we had to contract, and we contracted with Alternative Services Concepts because we were considered self-insured, which means we had a $50,000 copay. So basically, we'd have to put money in escrow to make sure that maintain a $50,000 balance. But we had to work with a company to do that. Even though we've moved along and we are no longer self-insured, we still have open claims from that time frame. So we're still required to contract with a company to keep the monies in there just in case any claims are come out against us. So basically, the annual contract to contract with Alternative Service Concepts is $13,700, which is a reduction of $2,750 from last year.
All right. Any questions?
How long do we have to keep that in place?
That, without our finance officer, I'm not for sure. Would you know
Okay.
that, Mr. Baker?
I think we need to keep that in place as long as there's any open claims from that time frame. Because that's basically like our adjuster. They handle the claims for us.
Any other questions? Let's have a motion to approve the contract then.
Winsmith moves to approve contract.
Do we have a second?
Second, Bruce.
Bruce,
Second,
thank-
Ricky.
Bruce got ahead of you, Ricky. Thank you. Roll call.
That's fine.
Wynn,
Yes.
Ricky.
Yes.
All right. Bruce,
Yes.
Alan.
Yes.
Yes, for me too. Thank you all. Mr. Rowe, you want to talk about the fuel bids?
Yes, our fuel bids, we opened that on June the 15th of 2020. We had two different companies who bid. We're going to recommend both of those. That is Cumberland Lake Shell and Woodford Oil, which are companies we've used in the past. So the recommendation is to approve the two bids that were submitted to us.
Very good. Any questions? Pretty self-explanatory. Do we have a motion to approve the fuel bids?
Alan, so moved.
Alan makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second, Bruce.
Bruce makes the second. Roll call. Wynn,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
and Alan.
Yes.
Yes, for me too. Thank you all. Mr. Rowe, you want to talk about the penal sum of the bond of the depository?
Yeah, this is something we do annually and it's required, the penal sum for the bond depository. And this is for, of course, the 2020, 2021. Basically, it says that we're going to work with Farmers National Bank and First National Bank of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who's going to serve as the escrow agent. So basically, this protects our money that is deposited in the Farmers National Bank. Basically, it's a set of eyes on Farmers Bank here locally, making sure that they have the money to give us back if we ever needed it. So I'd recommend that we do what we do every year and approve this.
Ain't no thing. Any questions? If not, we'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
Bruce makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, Wynn.
Wynn makes the second. Roll call. Wynn,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
and I vote yes with them. Claudia, you're on stage now. Contract with the Reed Braille Incorporated.
Each year, we are required to provide services for our students who have visual impairments and also to provide them instruction in Braille. And for the past several years, we have contracted with an agency called Reed Braille Incorporated. She's from Somerset, and you have an updated contract for her services in front of you tonight, and I would ask that we consider approval so that we can provide those services for our students.
Very good. Claudia, how many visually impaired students would you have? About a half a dozen or?
I think we're looking at 4 next year, Mr. Blankenship, and that is counting the ones that we know. We could always have one that enrolled or a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old come in that is in need of those services.
I understand. Any questions? If not, I ask for a motion then to approve.
Motion, Ricky.
Ricky makes the motion. Second.
Second, Bruce.
Bruce makes the second. Roll call. Wynn,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
and Alan.
Yes.
Yes, from me too. Claudia, talk about the exceptional child teacher position.
I'll be glad to. We are restructuring the way we provide services for our students who have behavior concerns in our district. We have, for the past several years, been bringing those students to Stanford Elementary from across our county and providing the high level of structure and support that they need as part of their IEP all together in one classroom at Stanford. We're in a position this year because of a fewer number of those students to be able to send those students back to their home schools and provide that same level of support to our students. In order for us to do that, we would only need to add one position, and that would be for Waynesburg Elementary. And that is a position that I can cover out of our Individuals with Disabilities Education Act and would be no cost to the board's general fund. I'm asking for the creation of that position in order for us to be able to provide that level of service.
And like it's very much needed. Any questions?
I got a question.
Sure.
If this is a position we create and you're paying it out of your grant, or I mean, what happens if the money runs out from is it just a 1 year at a time deal or?
Yes, sir. All of our special education positions, we look at each year, and if they are not needed, then we can close that, or if they need to be redistributed, we can redistribute that. But Mr. Hubble, I can assure you that for this grant year, I can cover this position out of our grant. We've already received our amount and have budgeted to cover this for this school year. This coming school year.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion to approve the exceptional child teacher position?
Motion, Ricky.
Ricky makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it, Alan.
Alan makes the second. Roll call. Wynn?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Claude, take the next one, chairperson for the Section 504 meetings.
I'll be glad to, Mr. Blankenship, and if it's okay with the board, I would like to lump 5J and the next item, which is, 4J, and the next item, which is 4K, I believe, on your agenda, since they're very similar. Each year, the board is to approve a list of persons in the district who can serve as chairpersons of an admissions and release committee, which is the special education part, team meeting that writes IEPs and can, speak on the board's behalf and on our program's behalf. And also we are required to submit a list and have it board approved for those who can chair Section 504 meetings as the district representative. Tonight you have both of those in front of you by title, not by name. And we're asking for the board to approve both the list of ARC chairpersons and then the list of Section 504 chairpersons for the upcoming school year.
Claudia, thank you for all your presentation. We're taking both of them together now. Do we have a motion to approve?
Wynn makes the motion.
Wynn makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Alan makes the. All right. Roll call. Wynn?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. Moving on, 4J, Wilderness Trace. Mr. Rowe, you want to take that?
Yes, we've been discussing Wilderness Trace a couple of meetings previously, and we were waiting to see whether they would receive somebody to be their physical agent. We know Danville is no longer going to do that, and they provided evidence to us that Bluegrass Cap is going to serve as their physical agent. They do a good job servicing our kids. This would be an agreement that we go into contract with them for 1 year at the same prices they've charged us in the past. Before I make a true recommendation, I would like for Mr. Baker, he's had a chance to look at the contract to see if he has any concerns.
We unmute there. No, I think I've reviewed it, and I appreciate Mr. Rose sending it over to me after our working meeting, and I've looked at it, and I don't really have any concerns with it.
So my recommendation to the board would be to approve this for a 1 year deal to see how it goes with Wilderness Trace and to provide the services that they've been doing for our kids.
And you can monitor it all year long.
Yes, we can.
Any questions?
Do we still have, I know we had, I think, 9 students there last year. Is that kind of the projection for this year?
Can I take that one?
Ms. Galby, I was going to go to you anyway.
To be honest with you, Mr. Smith, as of right now, we're unsure because we have not had preschool registration and don't have a good handle at this moment of how many 3 through 5-year-olds we will have that need that service. I can tell you 3-year-olds last year, going to be 4-year-olds this year. If they all come back, we will have 5, but I cannot tell you how many 3-year-olds that we will have coming into that program. We're just not there yet.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Wilderness Trace, do we have a motion to approve the agreement with them?
Motion, Ricky.
Ricky makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Wynn will make the second.
Wynn makes the second. Roll call. Wynn?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes, sir.
Bruce?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
And yes for me too. Ms. Rowe, you want to talk about the school resource officer?
Yes, this is the last couple of meetings we've been discussing that. We had talked about using option 1 or going for that, and we tabled that. During our working meeting, we were able to talk about options 1, 2, and 3. Option 3 does provide the most. It would include a school resource officer full-time at the high school, additional SRO full-time at the middle school, and an SRO that would travel covering all elementary schools 5 days per week. The total cost for this is $83,000. Last year, we were paying $52,800. So if we go with option 3, that would be an increase of $30,200. And we did have a savings switching with our nursing program of $124,000. So we do have the money there. So if the board feels this is a good use of that money, then I think option 3 would be a great route to go.
I kind of detected option 3 was the popular one we discussed last week, but are there any additional questions tonight?
I'll make the motion. We go ahead and go with the 3.
All right, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, Bruce.
Bruce, roll call. Wynn?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes, sir.
Bruce?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
And yes from me too. Mr. Rowe, let's talk about I guess it's for you, extra duty pay for certified and classified.
Yes, at the last board meeting we had, the board approved allowing our team to start practicing again, allowing our coaches to follow the guidelines of the KHSAA. This is the next step in that process. We did send out notices to our coaches that there may not be pay, or I guess for lack of a better way to say it, the job's there if we weren't going to have school. By all means, everything I'm seeing now is we're going to have school in some form or fashion. Matter of fact, I just got an email right before we started from the state legislator who's asking the Commissioner of Education to put in concrete guidelines to get school back in August. So that's something else that's playing out as we speak. So we know we're definitely going to have some kind of seasons, both athletically and for our sponsors who do things such as academic team and so forth. The thing that I would like for the board to consider tonight is, as we send out those contracts, I would like to add an additional line into those contracts. The line would say, in the event all of or part of the season is canceled, the superintendent may assign extra duties outside of the primary job description. So let's say that one sport, it's a contact sport, and the KHSA says we can't have it this year. That coach would still get paid, but I would be able to assign them to do other duties in the athletic department that could help cover other coaches, and the same thing on the academic side. So basically, they would be getting their contract and getting their pay, but if for some reason their seasons are canceled, then we'd have a chance that I would be able to assign extra duties as needed.
Very good. Any questions? All right, do we have a motion to approve the extra duty pay?
Motion, Ricky.
Ricky makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Wynn will second.
Wynn will second. Roll call. Wynn?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Yes, for me too. Tracy, we got an MOA, memorandum of agreement with New View. You might explain what that is and go from there.
Okay,
Healthy Kids Clinic for the past 3 years has provided behavioral health services for our students, and the behavioral health portion is rebranding their name to New View. And while we're no longer receiving nursing services from them, they still want to provide behavioral health services. And the memorandum of agreement just says that they can come into our school and service our kids, and this is necessary for their malpractice insurance. It's not, we're not paying them anything. It's just saying that they can come on school grounds and provide services to our kids if that's what the parents want. It would be like any other provider that comes in, such as Danville Counseling Center or New Vista. It's just necessary for their insurance.
All right, Tracy, thank you much. Do we have any questions?
So we're just giving them permission to access the campuses? Is that what?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey,
And,
Tracy,
and
I
our
think-
kids, if the parents, of course, the parents have to approve
Right.
services and they have to sign a release of information for them to be seen at school.
Okay.
Very good. Any other questions?
Just look at there and clean up the list of schools. I think there's a couple of schools that need to be removed.
Okay, we will do that.
Any other
So, and the new nursing program that's coming in, they don't have, this kind of service in their lineup?
They never have, but they are willing to offer it if we want to. Healthy Kids Clinic didn't have any the first year we came with them either. They built their nursing program here, and then the next year they added behavioral health. So if we want to add that, they're willing to do that as we move forward.
Very good. Any other questions?
I don't have any problem working with the Healthy Kids Clinic and the New View, but I think since we've switched, it'd be in our best interest to tell them they need to pursue the same lineup as what we had to start with. Does that make sense?
Yes. I mean, we're just looking at it. Like I said, this is not us contracting with Healthy Kids or New View. This would be just like a parent is choosing their services. And we're saying, yes, you can come see their kid at school, like any other outside counseling service.
You can make any adjustments you need to. Then so. Any other question, comment? Do we have a motion to approve?
Wynn makes the motion.
Do we have a second?
Second, Bruce.
Bruce? Roll call, Wynn?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Yes, from me too. Dreama, are you on board?
Yes, sir.
All right. You got the next one, the early kindergarten admission.
This is a little guy from Crab Orchard area that would like to come to school early because his birthday, he missed the birthday deadline, and we are ready for him to come as long as there is a spot for him, which I'm assuming that yes, there will be. But this is something we do every year, kind of normal. I think we have 3 so far this year that want to come early. So I would recommend we let him come on.
All right. Thank you, Dreama. Any questions? Motion to approve.
Motion, Ricky.
Ricky makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, Bruce.
Bruce makes a second. Roll call. Wynn?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes, sir.
Bruce?
Yes.
And Alan?
Yes.
Yes, from me too. Brandy Hahn, are you on board?
I am right here.
Okay. You take the last, approve the increase of 20 days for the 21st century.
Yes. Miss Cooper actually hit on this when she was talking about the salary schedule. We have 2 new grants in the district this year, making that, well, not 2 new grants. One, Stanford got their grant back, and the middle school can continue their grant. So that being said, the new grant model requires that coordinators work 220 days. So that's a grant requirement for those 2. As we reapply, I'm sure that they will require the other ones to do the same thing. So we are just asking that we go ahead and make all of those positions 220 days as required by the grant for those 2, because we are up to reapply this next year for 2 more. And we want to go ahead and give that good faith effort. It is all covered by the grant. The funding for that will be covered by the grant. So we're just increasing their days to be covered by the 21st century grant.
Thank you, Ms. Hahn. Any questions at all?
So for these that are not approved under the new plan, is it going to affect any services provided to the students?
No, we'll cover it in the cost of the grant. And they'll continue the same services. As a matter of fact, it'll probably give us a little better services because they will be able to recruit more kids for our summer programs and work more closely with the schools on those days that they didn't have before to make sure that we're providing exactly what the students need in the programming after school and provide some communication for teachers, et cetera.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion, Ricky.
Ricky makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Wynn seconds.
Wynn seconds. Roll call, Wynn,
Yes.
Ricky,
Yes, sir.
Bruce,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
and I join with a yes too. We want to thank all the staff members participating and informing us about their programs. And want to thank the board members and Jonathan Baker for joining us as well. And if there's no other question or comment,
I got a question for you, Jern, Tom.
all right.
Has there been any progress made on the middle school building where we approved to fix the leak on the front?
They have not actually got it started yet. I know Mr. Yaden has been working with them. The thing they've been waiting on was make sure nobody was in the building, so we got the stage out front, but it's still set to be completed before school starts.
Okay.
Anything else?
I've got another question I'd like to ask, and I know we're not supposed to add things to the agenda, but we talked before about some of this school safety stuff, and we got a number of some people that replaced doors with a key card system, and I just wondered if you all might check into that, where we could look at it at a board meeting later on down the road. Maybe get some of it took care of before school starts.
Yes, sir. We'll have them come to, our next working meeting that we have them come and present options and costs for you.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? If not, we thank you all and be safe, and the meeting is now adjourned.